Hey everyone, Humphrey back with another Router Guides video. We're going to talk and give you an update of the APEC Business Travel Card and how is it going into the different countries in Asia in middle of 2023. I'm going to give you an update of the places I've traveled to and used the fast lanes, the priority lanes or diplomatic lanes, APEC lanes in the past year or so because travel has opened up and a lot of you are probably wondering, is it worth it to get this card? Okay, let's start off with the countries that are really good for APEC. And this means you zip through the immigration lines because the normal lines just totally suck. Thailand. Oh boy, Thailand. So, an update on the APEC lines at Thailand. So before, the APEC officer was one lane. And then you had the Thai elite as another lane. And then you had the diplomatic as another. So you had different lanes. And I think crew and pilot was the another lane. So you had 4 or 5 different lanes that were dedicated to different high priority customers. Now what has been done, it's kind of the past 4 or 5 months. What they've done is they've taken all the high priority people and they've moved them to a different room. The VIPs don't mix and match with the peons. And so those high priority groups are moved into quote unquote, the fast track section. That fast track section is a separate room and it has 5 or 6 lanes, I forget. But that means if you're in any of those categories, you go into that room and you can pick whatever lane. So it's a mix and match. For those of you network IT engineers, QoS, buckets, it's a form of QoS, a different set of buckets, but it's a different room and you go into a different set of lanes. It is busy now. Immigration, depending on what time you come in. So Bangkok Airport, if you arrive between around 6 p.m. and midnight, it is fairly quiet. And that means the normal immigration lines are pretty quick, 15 minutes, maybe 15 to 30 minutes. If you arrive past midnight, or if you arrive in the early morning, immigration sucks because that's the ebb and flow of the planes going in and out of Bangkok. If you fly into Bangkok a lot and you really can't control the times that you arrive, the APEC card is going to save you so much time because 1 hour versus 1 minute. You do the math. If you fly in multiple times a month. Taiwan, just a couple weeks ago, I used the APEC lines at Taiwan. When you're trying to find the APEC lines, there'll be a lane and they'll have like a blocking sign in front of it. What you need to do is you need to walk up there. Someone will look at you and probably walk out, and you need to show them. You need to flash this, right? Don't let that blocking sign stop you in. Okay, I got to use the normal lines. APEC lanes at Taiwan moved really fast. I think I was out in about 3 minutes, and that was the only time ever in all of my years of traveling. That's the only time ever where the immigration officer pulled out a magnifying glass and looked at my passport, just like he was looking for the micro print on the passport. He also asked how many days I was staying, where I was staying, all that stuff. There's a form that you fill out for Taiwan to pass immigration. It's an easy form. It's not a big deal. The regular lanes in Taiwan looked horrendous. So I estimate that it probably saved me 45 minutes at least. Philippines. Ooh, I went to the Philippines late, middle last year, Manila Airport. APEC worked out amazingly well coming in. Immigration line looked, I think it was probably like an hour to hour and a half for the regular people. APEC lane got me through right away. Philippines, folks, love you guys, love your country, it is awesome. I don't like your airport. That Manila airport is terrible. And I think if you're a Filipina, you probably agree with me. That's just a terrible airport. The layout is terrible. The immigration's terrible. Lines are horrendous. It's yeah, it's bad. You don't want to spend any more time in Manila Airport than you really want to. So yeah, get the APEC card, please. So Malaysia, KL Airport, when you go to immigration, the immigration is for the fast track for APEC, it's all the way to the left. So you'll see all the normal people go into like the middle part. You need to look left or right. There's going to be a set, you look for the pilots and the flight attendants. Go that way, because you'll see one guy saying, it says APEC. Probably took me, what, 2 minutes? 2 minutes to go through. And KL Airport immigration, if you hit the busy times where a bunch of jumbo jets dropped off at the same time, it's terrible. 45 minutes to an hour at least. So APEC card really, really helps at KL Airport. Entry and exit. Sometimes exit immigration sucks, but APEC is gonna save you. Finally, Vietnam. Vietnam immigration is interesting for the normal folks because you've got paperwork, the immigration officer has to check on the e-visas and stuff like that. There's extra things. So Vietnam for Americans is not as simple as Thailand, because in Thailand, you have an American passport, you show it to them, and as a normal person, you get 30 days entry and you're through. You didn't have to go for a visa. You didn't have to go for the e-visa. No extra paperwork. Vietnam, it's different. E-visa on arrival, or you did the e-visa before, the immigration officer has to check for stuff. And yeah, the regular immigration is slow. But if you have the APEC card, you can use the APEC lanes. As an American, the back is blank, so we don't get the Vietnam visa automatically, unfortunately. So you still have to apply for the e-visa, the whatever visa that you need. But at least you get to skip all the immigration lines. Okay, let's talk about Singapore. Singapore is a country where the APEC card doesn't get you, there's no real advantage. And the reason is, if you come from a decent country where Singapore has an agreement to let you use the automatic scanner, and the automatic scanner is, there's no immigration officer, it's a gate, you put your passport in, and they've traded information and the gate's open, 30 seconds. It's pretty quick. I do have the option to use the APEC lane, but the APEC lane has a real officer, and it would be slower for me to use the APEC lane versus using the gates. And the thing with Singapore has money. Singapore has money to put a lot of gates, and even during the rush hour, it's maybe there's like 2 or 3 people in front of me for a specific set of gates. I think there's like 20 gates per terminal. There's some obscene amount, but rarely have I needed to wait more than, what's the most time I've needed to wait for the gate? Maybe 4 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. And that's when the person in front of me is fumbling. And if you travel more than a couple times a month in Asia, and you're a business person, so you're a legit business person, you have meetings, etc., it would be stupid for you. It would be absolutely dumb for you to not get the APEC card. It's $100 or $110 or whatever it is, and you are going to save 3 or 4 hours of your life every month, 30 hours, 40 hours, 50 hours a year. It's well worth it. So get the APEC card if you're traveling around a lot in Asia. Humphrey with Router Gods. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Stay safe, take care. Talk to you later. Bye.